Man, Staci reached out to us. And this is one of those situations where it doesn't matter if you're a parent or not. When you are in a public situation and there's a kid or children who aren't your own who are acting up, do you step in when the parents obviously aren't?
This is going to, I think, ruffle some feathers a little bit.
Kelly, you wanna read what Staci wrote us?
Yeah, so she said, yesterday at the store, I was getting some food for dinner. Someone's kid kept throwing random items in my cart. So I laughed it off at first, kept trying to get, to another section of the store. Mm-hmm. But the kid kept following me and throwing more items into my cart while the mom stared at hot dogs.
I mean, to be quite honest, there are a lot of choices.
There are a lot of choices. Do you get the ones with the cheese stuffed in there?
Right.
I say yes. Eventually, I told the kid he was being rude, and he started crying when I took all the items out of the cart to put them back. Oh. That got his mom's attention, and she said, he's just a kid, no need to be so cranky.
Wow.
I guess you've never been a parent.
Yeah.
I told her I have 3 grown children, and I'd never let them act like her kid in public. She rolled her eyes and went on her way with the kid. So if somebody's kid is acting up in public, is there anything wrong with correcting a child if the parent won't?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm. I try not to, and I try to remove myself from this situation. Mm-hmm. But that's me.
Well, she tried to do that. She tried to go to the other end of the store. The kid just kept following her, and he's putting stuff in her cart.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I think, I just say, hey, I don't need this stuff, but thank you. Why don't you go help your mama shop?
And then the kid's like, oh, that mean lady. She yelled at me.
Yep.
And then the kid falls on the ground.
Just kindly asked him not to put stuff in my cart because I don't need to buy that.
and then she's all like, well, obviously you've never had kids and don't know how to relate to them.
And I'm like, nope, I just don't. I don't need these items. Thank you, though.
Listen, lady.
Appreciate the help.
Listen, lady, you're going to have high blood pressure if you keep that stuff in your grocery cart.
And then I'm crying. And then I'm not going back to that store ever again.
Then, see ya. I might run into the mean lady. Man, this is an interesting situation. It's like an awkward situation that I feel like we all have experience with. Candy.
Yeah, and the difference is here, the kids misbehave at stores all the time, but in this particular situation, the kid was putting stuff in her cart.
Yeah.
So he's kind of invading her space at that point, and she's physically got to take the stuff out of the cart, and so I think it's justified to say, no, I don't need those, thank you. You can go help your mommy shop, though. Just kind of help shoo him away like that.
Right.
With a real pleasant voice.
It sounds like she did try, and it sounds like the kid didn't get what she was saying and was like, you want some Oreos? Now you want marshmallows.
I so picture you being this kid.
No, I was the kid that my mom would give me the box of Nilla wafers and say, or grapes, and say, here, eat those. And she would then buy an empty box of Nilla wafers at the,
That's hilarious.
Which later, a lot of people have said, well, that's stealing. And yes.
Well, no, because you're still paying for it.
Well,
you're just using it quicker.
But I didn't. I used it before we paid for it. So
exactly.
Yeah, anyways.
Well, that's all right. You still paid for it. It's all good. But here's the thing. I feel like there is a way to kind of handle this. If the kid just won't stop, then maybe we walk over to the mom and just say, hey, just to let you know, he's kind of been putting stuff in my cart incessantly, and I don't need it. Appreciate the help.
Yeah,
but there you go.
Jessica said, to be honest, I probably would have been petty and taken all the stuff that the kid put in my cart and put it in his mom's cart and said, here, your kid wanted this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Jennifer says, look, if my kid is being a brat in the store or in public, please say something. Please.
Okay.
I get that. And look, we've all been, especially parents can understand when your kid just starts throwing a temper tantrum. We're not talking about that. Right. Because, that happens. And look, the parent knows. Oh, yeah. It's like the parent knows.
Oh, that's a special level of where.
Yeah. Right. So,
just surviving that.
But we're just talking about how it's, the kid is being or needing discipline and is not getting that from the parent they're with.
Yeah, Kimberly said, I have two littles. They were acting crazy in Walmart. I was at a point where I was firm with the no to new toys. I had a woman come up to me, not to tell me I was being a bad parent, but to praise me on my firmness and told me I'm being a great mom. That intervention's always helpful, made my day.
Okay. So it sounds like, Staci, doesn't sound like you're the jerk necessarily.
No, I think mom got probably a little embarrassed and defensive.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Larry brings up a good point. Look, it takes a village to raise a kid.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know what, real quick, and I don't want to get off on too big of a tangent. If a parent came up to me and said, hey, your kid's being a jerk, I would first question the parent. And I'd be like, are you sure you're talking about my kid? like
well, first of all, if anybody told me my kid's being a jerk, I'd be I'm already on the defense.
Exactly.
If you're coming at me, you're coming at my kid, I'm fists up.
I'm like, not my daughter. But then they're like, we got her on security camera. And then I'd be like, all right, all right, fine, all right, you got me.
My bad then.
All right, so Staci, sounds like you're fine and you're not the jerk. But yeah, I mean, what an awkward situation to be in. So
I know. I think the best way to handle this is always with a nice tone of voice. Like if you don't ever snap at a kid or anything like that, and just use the best tone. Like, you're so cute. And I don't need that.
Instead, be patronizing to the kid. There you go.
What if it's a little kid? You talk to a little kid differently, don't you?
Funny. Oh, it's all good. All right. So if you want to chime in, you always can at Ben and Kelly Show there. And so, thank you, Staci, for that one.